Alright, so here's the second part of the lesson and how can we simplify square roots. And again, this is something we've did before, but it's pretty much how can we split a square root up into different pieces to make it as simple as possible. Alright, so here's our first example. This was the answer to one of the questions we did before, which is why I'm doing it on here, because I want to show you how you can simplify this. And if you remember from that example, let me write down the answer of what we should get. It should be 3 square root of 2. Now let's see if this is actually true. So, square root of 18. How can you simplify that? What goes into 18? Start off with a little tree, 9, and 2. Can't simplify 2 anymore, so put a little circle around that. What goes into 9? 3 and 3. Circle around that. Circle around that. So we can rewrite square root of 18 as the square root of 3 times 3 times 2. All these numbers over here that are left by themselves, 2, 3, and 3, you rewrite them under the house. Now here's where they had that little fun part where you take them out in pairs. So circle the pairs. Here's one pair. Circle that. This one stays the same. This one is by itself, so that one stays inside. So you rewrite that as, you take one of the 3's out. Only one of them will survive. Only one of them will get outside of the little house. 3 square root of 2. So that's it. Let me just kind of rephrase everything again. First thing you want to do is start off with the little tree to see the factors of what you have. Second thing you want to do is look for the factors, 2, 3, 3, simplify as much as possible. Rewrite it inside the little house, and then you are done. Here's our second example. This one's a little bit more complicated. So when I see big numbers like that, unless you start seeing patterns, first thing I see is that 2 goes into 80. So I'm going to go with 2 and 40. 2 is by itself, so I'm going to circle that. What goes into 40? I don't know, but it ends with a 0, so 2 must go to 40. And 20. Let's keep going. 2 and 10. And 2 and 5. So I chose these colors for a reason. You'll see why. So let's rewrite everything and let's get this over. So square root of 80 is the same thing as square root of 2 times 2. This 2 right here and this 2 right here. Times this 2 and this 2, so 2. Times 2. Times this last 5. 5. So now again, look for pairs. I see 1, 2 here, so I can take out a 2. See 1, 2 here, so I can take out a 2. So you are left with 2 times 2. You can take those out. It's the same thing as saying 2 times 2. Actually, let me change the color so I can keep it consistent. 2 times 2 times whatever stays inside, which is square root of 5. 2 times 2 is the same thing as 4 square root of 5. Now the shortcut you could have seen is whatever you take out, you kind of just multiply and put it outside the number. Now this 5 stays on the inside because it doesn't have a pair, it's by itself. So here's our final answer, 4 square root of 5. Now, what if, let me write this down, square root of 80. What if instead of doing 2, what if I did 4 and 20, 4 and 5? Do you think that would have made this problem easier? I want you to go ahead and try this one over here. Try solving that and see if you get the same answer. Again, your final answer should be 4 square root of 5.